Milwaukee, and I'll be giving you guys a review and tour of the Technica ATH-ANC9s. Now, starting on the outside, they come in a very nice, relatively hard carrying case, and they include a carabiner with a screw and lock mechanism. I love these things. I find these very helpful. So that's nice. So opening up the case, we have the Technica ATH-ANC9s. Now, these are Audio-Technica's flagship noise-canceling headphones. They are meant to succeed the Technica ATH-ANC7s, which were their previous flagship model. And those run for about half the price, but they've earned a very good reputation in terms of value. So they include a carrying pouch with some accessories. They include two 1.2 meter cables, both gold plated. One comes with an inline mic and one button control, which I found redundant because they have two cables, the only difference being that one of them has an inline mic. Everything else is the same, the length and everything. I think it would have been nice if they included different lengths or something, but that's just my opinion. Now they have the 1/4 inch adapter. You can zoom, gold plated as well. Headphone cable goes right here. And they include the airline adapter. Zoom. Two monos for one stereo, which is where your headphones will go. Sorry, it's not zooming. I apologize. Oh well. And here we have the headphones themselves. So probably one of the biggest advertised feature on these headphones is the tri-level noise cancellation. Now you can turn on the noise cancellation feature by flipping the switch on the left ear cup, just flipping it up, and a light will go on indicating that the noise cancellation feature is on. Now this button right below it is going to toggle the different settings. Now red is going to be, it's rated at 95% at 300 Hz. Now this setting is meant to cancel out crowd noise, like noises on the bus. If a lot of people are talking around you, this will probably work the best. Now you click that, you hear a beep, which indicates that it's switching levels. Granted, it doesn't have a tactile click or anything to it, but you just put a little pressure and it gives you that beep. So there you have it. And then green. Now this is rated at 85% at 200 Hz. Now this is meant to make quiet noise even quieter, because if it's completely silent outside and you put these headphones on blue or red, then it'll actually create more noise because it's already silent, so it's just trying to cancel out nothing essentially. And now click the button one more time. Now we have blue. Now this is for airplane-like noise, and this is rated at 95% at 200 Hz. So we have one microphone here and one microphone here, so that's two microphones on each cup, and they pick up the noise from the outside, and then the processor on the inside of the ear cup actually flips the sound to cancel out the sound. So you'll have two opposite frequency waves and sound waves, and they will cancel each other out. So that's kind of how the whole noise cancellation feature works. Now, one of the best things about these headphones versus something like the QC15s is that they work without batteries. So here you have the battery cartridge, right there. So you just click that, press it, and pull it out. So we have one AAA battery. They did come with one AAA battery, and on the box it says that it's 15 to 30 hours of use on one battery, but I actually squeezed out quite a bit more than that. I've been burning these in with noise cancellation on for about 30 hours, and I myself have been listening for a good 5 to 10 hours, so I've been able to get about 40 hours out of these almost. So then to put it back in, you simply go like that, and you push it in, and you'll hear a click. Yeah, there we go. Now, the build quality on these headphones are superb. Let's go ahead and start with the cable actually. Here we have the cable. It's detachable and it's gold plated. So we have the end that goes inside the headphone. As you see, it's very nicely built. Granted, it is very thin, but it's still built very well and precisely. Here you can see Audio-Technica's logo. I don't know if you can see that, but yeah. So there's Audio-Technica's logo, and the strain reliefs here are built very nicely. Now moving down the cable, we find the one button inline mic, and this is also built very well. This gives you a tactile click whenever you press it, so unlike the noise cancellation button, this actually gives you a physical click. And here's the mic right here. The mic quality is pretty good. It's sufficient for my use, and the click does work with the iPod for play and pause and such. Now moving down the cable, we have the right angle jack that goes in your MP3 or iPod. This is also built very well. As you can see here, there are three black lines that indicate that there is inline controls, or there are inline controls and inline mic. And the stream release are built very well here too. Now the headphones themselves are also built very well. We have very nice padding on here. I want to say it's protein leather, but I am not sure. If we go ahead and look, if we can get this to focus, you can see the textures on here. Seems like protein leather and does not seem synthetic, but I'm not sure. There is memory foam on the inside of the upper pads and on the ear cups themselves. The memory foam is relatively firm, but it keeps its shape very well. You can see it's still trying to form back. There we go. Hold on a minute. Yeah, see. So it gives a very good seal, which does improve the sound quality substantially, and it really helps the noise cancellation feature. Granted, even without noise cancellation on, these isolate a good amount of noise just passively, so that's very nice. But they do leak a lot, and that's one of the downsides. But rather than that, I do find, in terms of the noise cancellation, both ways I find it pretty good. Except, again, sound leakage could be better, but these pads do help a lot. You don't get surprisingly too hot with these pads on, like your ears don't get sweaty or anything, as opposed to some other headphones I've worn, which might be related to the sound leakage, but if that is it, then I think it's a good trade-off, because I don't like when my ears get very hot. So that being said, let's move on to the construction. Now, the construction is relatively mostly plastic, except for the headband right here. Now, the headband is metal. I do find myself occasionally skipping one of the adjustment levels, but ultimately I find it relatively smooth and nice. You can count your clicks, but you won't get an indicator on here, but it's still nice that you can count them and hear them. The hinge for the rotating cups, the cups rotate 90 degrees this way, and then about 45 this way. So about that way, yeah, 45 about there. And the hinges are built very well. There's no extra room here. You don't hear any clicks or any screeching or anything, and it feels very smooth, but still provides a good amount of resistance, so they're just not flailing around everywhere. The headband is also very flexible. See? I seem to never be afraid of doing this with Audio-Technica products, because they build their things very well. Like, I'm never afraid to put a strain relief test on these, but yeah, see? So they're built very well, and I believe there's also metal up here. It definitely feels like it. It's very flexible, and the plastic itself is also very hard. I believe it's ABS plastic, but I know it'll definitely last a long time. Now, I'm going to quickly demo the sound leakage issue on here for you guys. Now, here, the detachable cable. Let's go ahead and put that in. Here we go. There. You hear a click for that too. There's no locking mechanism, but it stays in there very well, and I've never had any issues with that. So, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. I'm going to find you guys a song. Don't want to get any copyright claims, so I think I'm going to go with some random techno. Here we go. Alright. So we have it. So let me turn on the noise cancellation feature. So we have it that loud. Now I'm going to put them over the bed with the ear cups down so you hear the difference. Not a big difference, right? Yeah. You can hear it is muffled out substantially, but it still leaks a lot. I would say if you have the iPod on about this level, within a 2-yard radius, people around you will hear you on a bus or something. If you put it on something more realistic, I mean, I listen to my music fairly loud, but put it here, this is very loud still. You can tell it improves a lot, but I'd say within a few feet, in a few feet radius around you on the bus or something, people will still hear your music. Your music will be audible. Not clearly, not enough to recognize the lyrics or anything, but they'll hear something. So that's that. So let's talk about comfort. But real quick, right before, I'm going to go ahead and talk about the looks, because this will tie into comfort. The headphones are fairly thick. The ear pads themselves, just like that, very thick. When you put them on your head, they will stick out pretty obnoxiously. The cups themselves are larger than the QC15s, and I do find the QC15s more stylish, but I find those a little less professional looking. I find the color on this, the paint job, I find it a lot more professional than those. But still, these are larger and a little more bulky. And when you put them on your head, there's going to be a big gap between the headband right here and your head. So there'll be a good inch or so gap, depending on the size of your head, of course. And because of that, though, this allows the headband on the top to spread out the pressure. So the top of your head will have very little pressure on them because it'll be distributed very well among the top of your head. So this whole headband, just all of this, will be evenly distributed among the top of your head, just because that the ear cups are sticking out like this and then coming back in. So this allows very little clamping force. It has a great fit. It will not get off your head, even if you're running. I wouldn't recommend running with these, but they won't fall off if you're running. And because of this allows the ear cups to, even the ear cups will distribute the pressure very nicely. Perfectly even. I can't find one point on my head or on my ears that have any more pressure than anywhere else. So I found that very nice, and I find these very comfortable. One of the most comfortable headphones I've ever worn. And they are relatively light. They are lighter than the Technica ATH-AM50s, which are studio monitors, but they're not lighter than something like the HD25s, but those are on-ear, and those are just very basically built with no functions or anything. But these do have the noise cancellation feature, and because of that, I find that these are actually very lightweight for what they give you. I find them very lightweight and comfy. So that was very nice. So let's go ahead and talk about what I find to be the most important part about headphones, and that would be sound quality. I'm going to get a little closer to my headphones here, so you guys can get some nice shots up close. So yeah, these headphones, okay, keep in mind these are active noise cancelling headphones. Active noise cancelling headphones, the thing about it is very difficult for them to reproduce very good sound. And this is because their drivers are always busy cancelling the noise on the outside. There's just so much going on, and it's difficult to understand how they even get sound out of these. But they do. And these headphones do sound very good, especially considering their active noise cancellation. But I do find that this will differ on taste, because these headphones are colored. Not excessively, but they are colored. Let's start with the lows. The lows are powerful. They're not overbearing, they're not overpowering any other part of the frequency, but they're powerful. And they may not satisfy just the most demanding bass head, but for most of us out there, these will have sufficient bass. The bass is relatively tight. It's not too intrusive. It plays nicely with the music, so it's very musical. You will tap your foot to any of the songs you are listening to. Trust me, any type of music you like, put them on with these headphones, and you will be shaking to the beat. And they are very musical. The bass, they're very warm sounding, except for the treble, which I get to later. The bass is very nice. It won't like shake your head or anything, but it's definitely there. It makes a presence. It does well with very fast-paced music and very slow, mellow music, so something like a cello, this actually plays surprisingly nicely. Now, let's go ahead and go to the mids. Now, the mids are very surprisingly detailed. They won't get the minute details, like just the air coming off the bow when you're stroking a violin or something, but they'll still get most details, and substantially more than most headphones I've heard. Maybe not as much as some studio monitors, but it's definitely up there. And considering they're active noise cancelling headphones, I was impressed with the detailed retrieval on these. Now, the mids is kind of iffy. I like how they're positioned in terms of sound staging. They aren't too intimate, and they aren't out of your head. They're perfectly there, you're listening to them, and they're just right there, just right next to your ears, and they're just playing. So I found that part very nice. But in terms of actual response, I didn't find them flat in the mid-range. I found them a little like roller coaster-y type thing. In some types of songs, the mids were very prominent, and in others they were recessed, like very recessed. And I found they sounded somewhat synthetic. not very realistic and not very natural. There were definitely some missing response in the mid-range, and it's slightly recessed at times. However, this definitely changes upon preference, because I did find these to be very exciting. They sound very exciting. They sound really good, actually. And audio quality may not be the absolute best, but they're for $300 for noise canceling headphones. I found them to be relatively well. And now let's go to the treble. Now this is the other part where it'll change on preference and change on the ears. Depending on who's listening to these, you'll find this experience to be very different. Because for me, I found the treble to be harsh. I found it to be sibilant. Not excessively so. With burn-in, they definitely improved. Now I can listen to these a little louder with a little more sibilant tracks, and they won't hurt nearly as much as they used to. But, oh yeah, by the way, I put these through about 30 hours of burn-in. And they do sound, I mean, the treble's nice, they have some excitement, but they're a little hot for me, and I find them to be slightly sizzly, like, I want to say painful, but not necessarily that bad. But they can get a little sibilant and a little harsh, at least for me. This will differ on the person. Different people are, their ears react differently to different frequencies, and especially in the treble range, different people find harshness in different frequencies, but I found these to be relatively harsh. That being said, these still sound good up high, and because of it, it gives a very exciting sound signature. I actually like how these sound, and you'll really move to the beat of your music when you put these on. So that being said, ultimately, these headphones, considering these are noise cancelling headphones, I would say the audio quality may not compete with other active noise cancelling headphone. May not compete with other non-active noise cancelling headphones in this price range, but it'll definitely compete with active noise cancelling headphones in this price range. The noise cancellation feature is very good, and depending on the environment, I found that these were on par to the QC15s. But again, depending on the environment, and the build quality is superb, easily beating out any other noise cancelling headphones I've seen in this price range, such as the Able Planet Pure Harmony headphones or the QC15s from Bose. The comfort, wow, very comfy, but most noise cancelling headphones are very comfortable because they are for people that are on business trips and people who typically aren't willing to wear IEMs, which are in-ear monitors, which provide a lot of isolation. Now, these provide a lot of isolation without being in your ears. So these are typically for people who don't like the comfort factor of in-ear monitors, so that's why active noise cancelling headphones are typically very comfy. So I think for $300, if you're looking for noise cancelling headphones that will last you a long time, I think these are a good buy. I think you should definitely consider them and try them out, because it definitely matters on preference, and I find that some people might fall in love completely with these headphones. So I wouldn't really rate them on value, because it definitely depends on the person. But, you know, I would say definitely give these a try, and I do recommend those. Do recommend these for people who are going to be using active noise cancelling headphones in different environments. So I'm Waki, and this was the review of the Audio Technica ATH-ANC9s. I'm out. See you later.